Growing up in superstitious communities in a country like Ghana, stories of money rituals abound. The tales are similar across the length and breadth of the country, whether it's about one missing a body part after being touched by a stranger, or turning into an object after taking an item not belonging to you, as well as stories of how the wealth of some individuals in communities can be traced to a ritual source.
Schedule so and then schedule by a schedule the Ashas, oh, not tobacco be. Yes, so, maybe say, and cocoa mantis, it's the same cocoa mantis, the Jillian B. Shawa, Okum Nipama, Uncle Fone walk a bosia or crown crofuni be crown. Obikum Womusa says Obidum who count a crabia, now bear my irano, and I buy it. But who say, I don't know, a buy, I know about. Say I no so buy about system. They say the abandon nipa kunkum.
But concerns have heightened recently following a spike in reported cases of ritual killings. Is that, however, the case, or nosy media houses are just putting a spotlight on a few ones?
Ritual murders have been with us. When I say with us, I mean it's been with human history for quite a long time. In fact, we could be traced to biblical times. Where in the Bible, Abraham was told to offer some form of sacrifice to by God. The only difference is that now you can see that because of the media presence and media coverage and social media and all that, now we tend to see it more within the media space, also on many platforms, and that it becomes so gruesome to people. But if you look at the history of Ghana in terms of, policing, and if you look at the kind of crimes that we've recorded over the years from 1990s through to 2000s up to now, you see that always there have been traces of people who have either gone missing and their bodies later on found somewhere along the line.
Issues of ritual killing took over the airwaves this year after some teenagers at Kaswa killed a neighbor, allegedly for money ritual purposes. The two were arrested after father of one of them blew their cover. The two, who are currently standing trial, are said to have lured the deceased 11-year-old Ishmael Mensah into an uncompleted building and smashed his head with a club and cement blocks. Ever since the incident was reported, similar cases linked to money rituals have been recorded in some parts of the country. Just on Monday, news reports revealed that a 13-year-old boy has allegedly been beheaded for ritual purposes at Mafi. 2 weeks before this incident, bodies of 3 persons were found in the room of Richard Apia in Abisim, a town near Sunyani. The Ashanti region has had its fair share of its own suspected cases of ritual killings. In the month of July, a taxi driver was found dead and nearly beheaded at Tafo, while the body of a 2-year-old who was missing at Obuasi was found dead in a gutter. In August this year as well, the body of an unknown person was found at Ejiso Krapa. Residents of Amanasi near Suhum have had cause to protest on several occasions over the operations of ritualists in the community. Crime researcher John Zopokuwari typifies what forms ritual killings.
When you look at the patterns that I've observed, most of the time people, when they vanish or they are kidnapped and their bodies are seen later on, you see that certain parts of their bodies are missing. About almost 50 to 55% of the cases that are profiled from 2008 up to 2019 seems to share those kind of characteristics. And most of the time, where there's ritual killings, you see that when the bodies are found out, certain components of the bodies are missing. In fact, it is one major characteristic with all forms of ritual murders and ritual killings. And that is one way for you to differentiate that kind of crime from other kind of crime, for instance, like the one we witnessed in Abisim. And now, for instance, if I should look at the crime that was recorded in Abisim, immediately people seem to suggest that the guy may be a ritualist or may be using the bodies for rituals. However, I share a different opinion based on my studies. And you'll see that the criminological literature, for instance, is replete with so many kinds of murders that mimic the kind of murders that we seen in Abisim by the guy that was arrested. In fact, in criminological literature, there's one serial killer that we called Nathaniel Bajona. In fact, we have Jeffrey Dahmer, and even if you look at the activities of someone like Ted Bundy, you know, Nathaniel Bar, for instance, what he did was that he kidnapped children of school-going age. So most of the time when the children were going to school, this guy would just accost the children and then capture them and then strangles them, chop off or dismember their bodies and put them in refrigerators or even ice chests with blocks. And now he prepares stew and soup and barbecue with the flesh of these children and serve it to the neighbors.
Some persons have attributed recent happenings to the quest by the youth in particular to acquire wealth without the hard work that comes with it.
Na de na ebi mu de yesa o. Utimi hu se sa wohwe na sanka enipa no ene wiasa ye wo no ebi mu pesikantam sikamprempre ebi mu di pa ono so bayire ne ho ekodi pa nkakra nkra ne wonya kakra de ato no ho no ono onya sa okoyo bi bukata na osole o mi koku wei edi akonye sika esu ni nyina na ba sa na enje.
Some, however, have attributed the canker to the activities of spiritualists who claim to have the power of money doubling. How plausible is this? To understand the workings of such persons, I visited the shrine of a known spiritualist, Kweku Bonsam. He contends that nothing of his sort exists.
If I'm not lying to you, if there is double money in this world that can me, I will give 2 billion categorized to Ghana Republic, the president of the Republic of Ghana. Nana, he says, and Nana Danko Akufo-Addo. There's no double money there. If somebody was challenge me, Kwaku Bonsam, I'm sitting in the Citi FM, Citi TV, live and colored. If somebody was challenging me that there is double money is there, let the person come out. Let him come out and tell me that there's double money there. There is pocket nude right there. There is no something like that. Why the president go to China, Canada, US to begging for loan? You see, they bring the boss, and you are watching. If the person have that billions of dollars, how go and look at his background? The person using Tico, how can the person using Tico can double money for you? You go look at his background. He said that media, if you are doing the money, you don't chop, but somebody can chop, it's good. That is the